Travis Wayne Goodsell. Got some breaking news tonight, although the church threw in that last week they also did something. No, guys, don't lie to us. So remember, I've been calling out the church for not just paying for the war in Ukraine, paying Russia for it, but also about the need for more assistance to feed the hungry, clothe the naked, the poor and the needy taken care of. Refugees. There are 2 million, and they're struggling. There's a humanitarian crisis. They need constant daily attention. They are fully dependent for help and assistance. The majority are women and children. The men are left behind to fight the war, though apparently there's 30% women fighting in the war, including ballerinas. More power to you. And also complaining that the church didn't pull out the Ukrainians who are Mormon. They only pulled out the missionaries. And didn't pull out the Russian Mormons and missionaries. There's at least 2 mission presidents who are from the United States still in Russia. I've gone over that with you. And if you hadn't been watching the news, it's too late for anybody in Russia. They have to walk on foot and climb every mountain to get out of Russia, because they are economically destroyed and communications are difficult. And apparently they're also in denial. They don't realize that there's a war in Ukraine and that their loved ones are dead. That's how deceptive the misinformation is in Russia. But there's a very large rebellion in Russia. And so very likely there are those who don't believe Putin. But there's 23,000 Mormons, according to the stats, in Russia. Plus the 5 missions with, I don't know how many missionaries per mission. In New York, from 89 to 91, there were 200 missionaries. So, I don't know. And so, having been complaining this whole time, demanding the church act, and they refuse to because they're the Great and Abominable Church. They've made that clear and obvious. Especially as I discovered there's a Russian sleeper cell in the General 70. Isn't that great? So, you would hope that the church would say something, and apparently they claimed they did last Saturday. And then they did one tonight. So last Saturday on the 5th, an update on service rendered in Austria, Germany, Poland, Prague, and Ukraine. An update? Yeah. Right. And there's your clue. It was put in today. The Kiev, and you probably hear people say Kiev. No. There's the Y and the I, or the other spelling is I and the E. That's what most people are going by, and so they go Kiev. No, it's Kiev. Like Maria Butina. Maria Butina, the Russian spy who, who's now a hero in Russia and is in the news lately. Nonetheless, the Kiev Stake Center is helping Latter-day Saints who live in the stake boundaries. The Mormons didn't even leave. Oh dear God. They are due west from the capital, where the temple is. So that's stake area. Holy crap. The women and children of the Mormons did not evacuate. The stake president didn't evacuate. He didn't evacuate. Now hopefully he's fighting the war. But, oh my God. This is a nightmare scenario. And where's Nelson? Where is he taking care of the flock? Tending to the flock? He passed it off to the Kiev Stake Presidency, who's still in Kiev with all the Mormons. Male, female, children. Oh dear God. And that was just last week on Saturday. The Australia Vienna stake is also collecting and organizing supplies to be distributed by leaders in Kiev. And so Austria is also vulnerable because they're not a part of NATO. So understand, Putin is going after those who are not part of NATO. He's taking Ukraine, and Austria and Moldova will be easy peasy, breezy cover girl. Yeah. And so instead of getting the people out, other than the men to stay behind or those who will fight if there are ballerinas in the stake, they didn't evacuate. Oh dear God. Missionaries in Berlin are visiting train stations with large signs showing the languages they speak. They're trying to recruit Mormons? Oh dear God, cut it out! Oh my God, have you heard about Jesus? He'll save you! Jesus will save you! Believe in Jesus, He'll save you! Oh, this is horrifying! But yeah, they're supposedly helping refugees from Ukraine. Not Mormons, they're staying behind. Find transportation and other assistance. There's an abandoned tank. Oh my God. They're supposed to be helping, passing out food, giving sleeping bags, and oh dear God. I would hate myself being a missionary in this situation, being forced to do this. I don't know, I'm new here. I don't know what to do with you. I'm just a kid. Dear God. 2 trucks. Oh, it's now 2. Instead of the 1 to New York City. Yay! 2 trucks loaded with supplies for 2 million refugees departed from Frankfurt, Germany for Hungary and Romania. So 1 went to Hungary, 1 went to Romania. Yay! 1 truck for 1 million. Oh dear God. And so donated items include only 1,000 sleeping bags for 2 million people, 500 cots for 2 million people, 10 tents for 2 million people. Do you understand? Are you going to hate me and send me death threats for this? This is what's on here. Only 1,000 sleeping bags, 500 cots, 10 tents. For how many people? Talk about insufficient. You're going to have refugees fighting each other to see who gets the sleeping bags. It'll be a death match. Death match for sleeping bags. Dear God, it doesn't even handle all the kids. The Order of Malta and the Red Cross in Hungary and the Jesuit Refugee Service in Romania, not the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, are distributing these items to refugees who arrive in those countries. I'm glad I no longer call myself, well, born and raised culturally Mormon, but not religiously Mormon. Like the Jews, they're both religion and culture. Like Islam is the religion, Muslim is the culture. So here's the update of the update. And it's not even saying update, other than this page provides a summary of recent updates. Oh dear God. They're trying to cover up things. Oh, we had it in here. It says, the date says March 5th. See? Brigham Young, he didn't know about 9/11 Mountain Meadows Massacre because his letter was dated the 13th. He didn't know. He didn't give the order. No, I found his sermons. He gave the order. He knew about it. He ordered it. It was him. He confesses to it. So, March 11th, 2022. In Moldova, which is going to be next. Even Moldova is preparing for it, because they're not a part of NATO either. Poland, Romania, Slovakia, those are part of NATO. And Spain, yes. Latter-day Saints are helping refugees with food, clothing, baby items. They're helping themselves to food of the refugees. And taking candy away from babies. Shelter and more. Yeah, they don't give numbers on this one. Like the 1,000 meals to kids. That's it? Just one meal for each kid, huh? Assuming there were 1,000 kids. That's how much you gave, huh? Great. But yeah, they don't even give a number here. They just generally say it. We're helping. Leave us alone. Religious freedom. We're clothing the poor, feeding the hungry. What more do you want? Carmen Parnea. And they've got the things, so I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. A volunteer in Romania said she has witnessed heartbreaking scenes. Yeah, because the church isn't helping. Why did you put this in here? You're exposing the church. I have seen many mothers and little children that struggled because of the cold weather and extreme exhaustion. Yeah, because they're not giving enough clothes. Well, we've got 5 coats. Who wants them? We'll do a battle royal to see who gets the coats. Oh dear God. Stacy Chandler, a local weather leader in Poland, a local woman's leader, Local women's leader in Poland said this humanitarian crisis, ta-da! So the whole week from last Saturday is now being called a humanitarian crisis for today. You catching that? Don't get mad at me. It's in the church's news release. They're saying it. The church is not giving enough. And it's not like the church is poor because they're not getting enough donations. They don't have enough money. Oh no, what do? We really want to help. We just have no money. And you also need to understand, the missionaries have to come home on plane. How much is a plane ticket? Anybody pay attention lately? It's gonna get worse. And so you think that people are gonna be able to fly out of Russia? No! Everybody's shutting down Russian planes. You can't come into our country. Nope, can't come into our country. Nope, can't come into our country. Like I said, they have to climb every mountain, swim every sea to get out of Russia now. They're trapped. You see, every month we had transfers, and the new missionaries came in, and the old missionaries went home. I'm pretty sure it's similar. I don't think it's changed much in the decades that I've been on mine. You know, they're not able to call home. I'm still not seeing any Mormon contacting the press saying, oh, our son's on a mission in Russia. We haven't heard from him in 2 weeks now. We think he might be dead. You know, this is horrifying. Nelson abandoned them. He got the missionaries out of Ukraine so Putin can take over, but left the Mormons in Ukraine as everybody else is fleeing. The Moldovians, or not the Moldovians, it's the other place where the maternity hospital was bombed. They're trapped. They can't flee because of the bombing. Putin keeps saying, oh yeah, ceasefire, sure, we'll let you guys go. And then they start going, bombing commences. Humanitarian crisis, more civilians dead. You fell for it. This is a crisis, a humanitarian crisis, as Stacy Chandler tells us. Because the church has failed Mormons, let alone others. Inasmuch as you've done it unto the least of these, my brethren, you have done it unto me. And she says, this humanitarian crisis will change the face of the church in Poland forever. I think she was criticizing. Because the church isn't helping. I think she's saying Poland will never approve of the church ever again after this, for their abandonment, for their causing of the humanitarian crisis, when the church is trillionaires. That's funny, Stacy. Clever. You got the Mormon to publish it. And sneak it through. Good for you. From the earliest hours of this crisis, the Faiths Europe area has helped through its members. And they're not even getting them out of Moldova when we know that's next. Austria is in jeopardy of history repeating itself. In case you hadn't caught on to the climb every mountain, swim every sea. Should I start singing Edelweiss and Ball? Dear God, this is horrifying.